Welcome back to Nugget Garage. Today we're going to tie up a few loose ends on the motor and get some plugs and leads and the thermostat etc. back into the motor and get it completely ready to go in. We're going to swap the box out because it got a bit hot and it died a miserable death, so hopefully get the motor and box into it and get it ready to go.
Alright, so I've got to put some spark plugs in. These engines run twin distributors. Not totally sure why Toyota did it. Basically, each distributor runs 2 cylinders off the opposing bank. They have 2 coils similar to probably the NA 2J coil. So far at 430 odd rear wheel, I haven't seen a problem with spark, but we're going to try and push this thing over 500, so probably going to do about a 18th hour plug gap. Hopefully the ignition system can hold up. We'll see what happens. Okay, so the standard 1UZ thermostat housing is made out of some sort of plastic. When they get a bit of age, they're prone to snapping. I've had a few drop off in car. So this billet one is going to fix that.
Don't damage the thread. We're not using them, we're damaging the thread.
The Venom automotive billet thermostat housing comes supplied with stainless Allen key bolts, as the shank on the factory studs are too long and these need to be removed to fit the new item.
So these are an A340 transmission, very common gearbox in a lot of Toyotas in the 90s and 2000s. They're a 4-speed electronically controlled transmission with a lock-up converter. Stock, actually surprisingly they can handle a lot of horsepower, sort of 500 to 600 rear wheel with the right valve body. Unfortunately the stock valve body is designed for smooth shifting and comfort. As a result, when you start putting a bit of power in them, the time it takes to change gears, you end up burning the clutches up pretty easy. So the easiest thing to do, and there's multiple companies in Australia that make them, is modify the valve body. You want to try and get it to shift as quick and as hard as you can, within reason. These particular gearboxes are out of a Sora, a V8 Sora, UZZ. They have a mechanical line pressure adjustment that goes onto the throttle body. We don't use any of the factory ECU to control them. I just make them shift manually. You do that with the gear position switch, which is on this side. Use it to control a couple of the solenoids using a couple of diodes, pretty basic. If you want a wiring diagram, I can send you one. So what we've got to do here now is basically change all of the accessories over. Mate of mine, George from Easy G's down the Gold Coast, hooked us up with this. He does a lot of V8 1UZ conversions, so he's got a lot of spare gearboxes sitting around. This one is supposed to be a fairly low K unit. It's got a cork gasket on it, which is a bit of a worry. Probably means it's been apart before for some reason. Anyway, it's quite a messy job. We'll get into it, get it done. Okay, so these gearboxes normally use a rubber donut style coupling. This pin's used to locate and keep the tail shaft central. We're using a modified companion flange. So this is in the road. So I'm going to hack it off. It's also convenient considering I don't have a long shank socket. So we're going to do it. So on further inspection, this gearbox probably done a few more Ks than what I thought. It's the only one we got, so we'll use it, bugger it. I'm only really going to lose the front seal on some time if it's bad. The accumulator pistons and O-rings seem to be a little bit loose in the bore, so we'll swap them over. You probably notice this valve body in this gearbox is a little bit smaller. It has fluid transfer pipes. For some reason, the valve body guys seem to prefer this valve body. It's 1JZ, I think, Sora. They're all interchangeable, just the later model valve bodies are longer and they actually pass and hang over these ports.
Alright, so yesterday we got our gearbox done, we got the motor sorted out and the turbo manifold sorted out. We left here yesterday afternoon and it hasn't put itself to bed at all for some reason, so I guess we're going to have to do it. So. That's all we've got time for this week. We've got the motor and box back into the truck. We've got the transcooler fitted up and the tail shaft in. We've got plenty of other little jobs to get done on it before it runs. We're going to give the injectors a clean out. So we've got intercooler piping, exhaust, the turbo, all that kind of stuff to go on yet. So there's still a bit of work in it. So we'll get into that, and next week we'll make some noise. I think Scott's sick of looking at it. All right, thanks for watching. There's a little button down over here somewhere, little red one, subscribe. Hit that if you like it. Hit the little like one as well, that also says you like it. And helps us out a fair bit, and we'll see you next week.